It is Thursday, time for another edition of Litter Media Live. With the icon, Mike Smith, I'm the no-con, Dan Ramey. Welcome to the show.
First time we've been together this week. In fact, the only time we'll be together this week.
Is that not crazy?
It's kind of like the old Johnny Carson show when Johnny was doing his gigs out in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He'd have Doc Severinsen would fill in. I don't know that I ever remember Ed filling in as the host.
I don't think he ever did.
Yeah.
You're right on that.
Yeah.
And then there were times where Doc was on the road, and so was Ed McMahon, and Tommy Newsom would fill in a time or two. So
Tommy was funny.
Yeah.
He was a funny guy.
That he was. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the program. I forgot my prop here for my phone, so I had to prop it up, as it were. Today is Thursday, so we want to prepare for the weekend, and we want to start by saying thank you to the veterans for what they've done. Aaron Glandon and I were out for lunch yesterday, and can we talk about this?
I don't know.
Where am I going to go with it?
Full disclosure.
We're at Steak and Shake.
We went to a restaurant, and while we were there, we saw a man in uniform walk in, wearing dress blues of the United States Marine Corps.
How about that?
And I thought, he kind of looks a little familiar. And so he goes over and he's talking to the manager from the restaurant we were at, and then he turns around to go out the door, but stops. Turns around, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he's a former Cavalier. Maybe he's recognized me, and I just want to say hi, congratulations, thank you for your service. And he walks through the restaurant to the back corner where we were sitting, and he wasn't there to see me. He was there to see Aaron Glandon.
Is that right?
Yes.
So who was this?
I don't know. He was trying to recruit me.
Oh,
There was
even with the beard,
huh? There was recruitment in process right
that?
there.
Wow.
Or progress. And
we knew we'd lose him one day. We just didn't think it was to the armed services.
we didn't think that was going to be the case. So during his pitch to him, Aaron, he said, thank you, but I've decided the military is not where I want to go. And so he continued. It was about that time that my food arrived, so I had to get up and go get the food. And when I came back, he was gone. So I don't know if they thought that it was father-son sitting there having a lunch together, that kind of thing. And I'm going to just have him talk in front of Dad.
Yeah. Now, your real son's wanting to know, wait a minute, you're taking everybody else to lunch. What about me? Yeah.
Well, we went Dutch.
Oh, okay. Barney and Thelma Lou style.
That's right. When Dan Jr. goes to lunch, he thinks Dad needs to pay.
I gotcha. Oh, wow. Well,
that's how it starts.
yeah.
And so here we are. But thank you to our veterans who have given all. And we thank that fella. I never got a name, but he came in, and I thought we were going to lose Aaron for a second. But Mom and Dad, rest assured, he came home.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the forecast as we head towards Veterans Day weekend.
Yeah, we start out with some clouds this morning, but we think we'll see a little peak of sunshine this afternoon, but a little cooler than what wasn't yesterday. A great day, 74. 63 is the high today. For Friday, tomorrow, cooler, even still, with a high of 54 with a mixture of sun and clouds. And if you're going out to the football playoffs on Friday night, we think it might get down into the upper 30s before the end of the ball game. So dress appropriately tomorrow night.
We'll be okay down on the field. I think we're all right with how we'll need to dress. You guys upstairs, however, you'll be warm and cozy because you'll be in the press box, and there will be 45 people in there with you.
I was in that press box a couple of times, and I about froze both times.
That's because it's a bomb shelter.
Yeah, it's like a concrete bomb shelter.
It is concrete walls. There is no warmth in it other than your warm personalities that will be together, you and Tom Beard.
Yeah.
And the other associates that will be around you.
We'll see.
That is something we'll be focusing on at noon today with our Litter Media Game of the Week pregame show, and we'll be looking at Bloom Carroll and Bishop Watterson back together again. We'll touch on that a little bit later on, but we just wanted to let you know why we were talking about one specific circumstance for Litter Media Radio. You'll be able to listen in to the game tomorrow night live on Litter Media. All right, coming up in just a moment, we'll take a look at what's making news for us today, as well as sports. Get ready for that. But first, let me tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. I went down into Yaktangi Park earlier today. Wanted to see, they're setting up all the decorations for the Shine on Chillicothe, and went over to see where the ice rink is and got a chance to see all that. As I'm driving back out of the park on Mulberry Street, there was a Scioto Valley dumpster.
Well.
Sitting right there. It was filled and overspilling. I mean, it was, so whoever got this probably should have gotten a bigger one because they have done everything to the extent that they could to fill this bad boy up. You can get different sizes of dumpsters. You can get a dumpster for your residence or your business, wherever you need it to be. Give them a call, 740-253-8380. For Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Up ahead, we'll take a look at what's happening with news next.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient, you can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
You will always find news available on our website, littermedia.com, but also here on Facebook Live, what we're doing with the show today, as well as on formerly Twitter, Litter X, and our YouTube channel. You also have information there for you. But we want you to start with littermedia.com. That's where you'll find a lot of the news stories that we share. But we also have here on Facebook a conversation that we shared yesterday. This was with the ladies from the Pickaway Addiction Action Coalition. Thank you. I knew there were 3 shuns in there in their name. PAAC is the acronym. But Susan Metzger was talking about what it is that PAAC is doing in Pickaway County.
We definitely will be ramping up our prevention activities, programming, education forces towards marijuana. We are also involved in the opioid settlement dollars that are distributed out the state of Ohio. So we have some resources there, but it's like coming to the students at all angles, and sometimes I consider it like whack-a-mole. You know, you take out one thing and something else pops up, and so now with this filtering down to the middle school and some of it into the elementaries, it's going to take more people. It's going to take more members of our community to be involved within our coalition. And so that's an ask that we're asking to possibly those folks who are listening at this time.
Susan Metzger there with Amy Reimer, who is the director of PAAC in Pickaway County. And, of course, if you want to learn more, you can hear the interview in its entirety on our videos section here on our Facebook page, or also on YouTube, available there. And you can also hear it on Litter Media Radio. And today we had another special edition.
Yes, newly re-elected Mayor Luke Feeney and our buddy Scott Graham with the Chillicothe Ross Community Foundation.
And, of course, they are in the holiday spirit. They're focusing on the Holiday Pops Spectacular, which is coming to Ohio Chillicothe's Shoemakers Center on December 17th. And we learn more about the purpose for this event.
Mayor of Somerset, I think he, during the pandemic year, did an outdoor arrangement with this Columbus Symphony. He said, you should call them and see if they'll come to Chillicothe. And so we did, and that's how we got it started. And I think that other communities look to us and now see, how do we get a signature event like this? Because they see the sponsorships almost selling themselves, and they see the interaction, the city leading the way, the foundation taking those proceeds and investing them back into the community, which is a really special thing. You know, we have to pay the symphony to get here, and it's not cheap. But the sponsorships are what enable us to put the money back into the community, invest in really important community organizations or efforts. And I think that that's what adds to the feeling of that night, is that you're not only seeing the symphony, but you know that your money is going to a good place too. Yeah. It's a double win.
$20 tickets for adults, $5 for kids, and this is a great event, an opportunity for the Chillicothe Symphony itself, the high school symphony, to perform, and they'll perform at 5 o'clock, and then right afterwards, here comes the Columbus Symphony Orchestra to take in their places. These professional musicians rubbing elbows with our students, that's a great advantage, I think, for these kids to possibly want to further their musical careers.
It's kind of like the, what you used to call the work shadow experience, only they're coming to you instead of you going to them.
Precisely. And it's a highly entertaining show. Again, tickets have been selling out each year when they have this. It's just a hard ticket to get. There are some tickets available, but don't drag your feet. It'll be well worth the time. December 17th at OUC.
Some of the other headlines you're finding on littermedia.com. Ross Community Action and Save-A-Lot is teaming together to offer Thanksgiving food baskets to income-eligible residents. Now, vouchers will be handed out on a first-come, first-served basis on November the 13th between 3 and 5 p.m. You must provide a photo ID and complete a signed income waiver in order to get to show that you are income eligible. There's more information you can find there on our social media pages. City of Lancaster is working to create a shared vision for the future of Cedar Hill Road and the surrounding area. Now, earlier this year, we told you about what was being planned for Cedar Hill, but this is an open house that's coming up where residents in that area can attend on Wednesday, November the 15th, between 3 and 6 p.m. The open house will be at the Meals on Wheels dining room at 1515 Cedar Hill Road in Lancaster. And again, what they'll be doing is just weighing out the goals and conceptual plans, as well as making alternative recommendations and sharing new ideas. The Ohio Department of Commerce has published a frequently asked questions website resource to address both consumer and licensee questions about non-medical cannabis. Based on the election results from this past Tuesday, which where a majority of Ohio voters approved Issue 2 to legalize the possession and use of marijuana by individuals age 21 and over, the sale of marijuana by state-licensed dispensaries to those individuals, and to create the Division of Cannabis Control within the Ohio Department of Commerce. So just because it passed, it just doesn't mean you can light up. There's other things that have to take place before that. A very helpful website story that we have at littermedia.com where you can get more information. I noticed some of the other Columbus media picking up on this very same story, as all of this came from the Ohio Department of Commerce. The annual Altrusa Craft Bazaar is this Saturday, November the 11th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Unioto Elementary School. There will be 70 vendors with various crafts and products, donuts, chicken and noodles, walking tacos, which is some of my favorites, coffee, and Schmidt's sausage food truck. You had an interview late last week?
Yes, in fact, it's on Litter Media Radio right now. It's also available here on our videos section and on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel.
And speaking of supper, today is the spaghetti supper.
Yes. Well, it's a dinner, a spaghetti
Okay.
dinner. And the reason I say that is because it's 11 to 7. So
Weren't we just talking about this supper and dinner distinguished
yeah,
in
I
the
think we had
Glandon
that-
household?
we had that conversation yesterday about that. Yeah. But 11 a.m., so it's underway
Yes.
up at the Shriner Clubhouse there. Ross County Shrine Club. It's the 43rd annual spaghetti dinner, and it runs till 7 o'clock. Kids under 12, you get to eat for $6. For those of you that are older like us, it's $10, and that's a $10 donation.
That's right.
So if I guess that means you can get food for less than $10.
Well, there's a legal reason for that. If you're not licensed to cook food and for sale, you have to call it a donation.
Gotcha. That's a health department thing.
That's right.
Okay. But they've got a drive-through, they got a carry-out, they got a dine-in, and delivery is available as well. You can call 740-772-4119 to have it delivered to you.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you to the Shriners for what they do.
Yeah.
They really do.
And that's our topics for today.
Okie dokie. Coming up, this date in history, which is
1989.
not too far back.
A day when I saw this, I thought I never dreamed I would live long enough to see this day.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it coming up after a look at sports, which is on the way next. But first, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. If you've got discomfort in your home because of the atmospheric conditions due to it being too hot or too cold or too wet, make sure you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. It'll take you right to their website, which is accuratehvac.com, and you'll find out all the numbers you need for whatever territory you're living in here in Ohio to learn more about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
At Rathkamp Financial, we offer customized investment solutions and superior client service. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Time for sports, and are we starting with the Litter Media Game of the Week?
I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea, Dan.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Where we're going?
We're going up to Tays Valley High School, the old stomping grounds.
His alma mater.
That's right. And they sent out an 18-page email yesterday on how to find the school,
wow,
how to conduct yourself when you get there, as well as where we will get to park and pass assignments and everything. Aaron Woolard is the new athletic director at Tays Valley, and I think he's turned into the perfect host for a tournament game.
Now, will we get to go to the Dan Ramey Honor Hall or whatever? I'm sure you're.
If there were one, probably, yes, but there's not.
Inducted into the Hall of Fame at Chillicothe and not your old school because they knew you.
Nobody knows me at Tays Valley. So, yeah. There's some folks who might remember me at some point in time, but even the one that I had on the inside, Ron Fosnaw, custodian, retired.
Oh, golly.
Just a couple of weeks ago.
Just when you need people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
but don't forget to join us at noon today, right back here on Litter Media Facebook Live for our Game of the Week preview show for Bloom Carroll against those Bishop Watterson Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dogs and birds.
Dogs and birds.
Going at it this Friday.
Well, that would be the regional semis that's coming up Friday night, but there are state semis and state finals that are going on now around the state. OHSAA soccer boys and girls semifinals were held earlier in the week. The championships are Friday. I think Friday for the girls, boys on Saturday, or vice versa. Volleyball state semis, which are underway at Nutter Center at noon today. That's the first semifinals on all of those.
And that's why your wife has your car.
Yes.
Okay.
She was afraid that it might get nicked up or something. So the one that I drive, she's with the.
So you've got the good car.
now.
And she's got the one that can
Yeah.
afford being beat up.
She's with the State Coaches Association as a trustee, so she's got to be up there all 3 days, as if she wouldn't have been there.
And
anyway.
you got to watch those coaches because they're very destructive.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
carry around those lead pipes and things in case things go wrong.
Yeah. College basketball last night, the Ohio Bobcats taking place out in a Sun Belt Classic. They beat Troy 88-70. That's men's college basketball last night. And on the NBA side, the Cleveland Cavaliers fall to Oklahoma City. They were way back. Made a run late in the ball game, but still lost 128-120.
You know, we had a Cavalier play for Troy a number of years ago. Ray Chambers.
Ray.
He finished his college career at Troy. So I thought it was pretty cool when I saw that on the schedule for Ohio basketball.
Gotcha. And, of course, we'll talk about the football Buckeyes tomorrow on the sports.
All right. Coming up next, this date in history after these words from our fine sponsors.
You asked, we delivered. New Mike's Hard Lemonade, Zero Sugar. Zero sugar. Amazing taste. Years in the making. Now that's a drink worthy of the name Mike.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Before we get to this date in history, let's take a moment to give a salute to our buddy Steve Lewis.
He's back at sea.
He is. He is. I want to say he was in the Navy, if I'm not mistaken. Which
makes sense.
Yeah, you would think he loves still being on a boat, but we appreciate his service. I know he watches all the time. He's on a boat in the Caribbean right now, listening to our show, and it is coming through very well. I don't know how much that costs to be to
get access on the internet.
If you're out in the middle of nowhere on a boat, but you're getting the internet.
Mm-hmm. Probably off a satellite or something like that.
That'd be my guess these days.
Of course, he could be a Marine because the Navy usually takes the Marines where they need to go.
True, but I don't think he was. I don't think he was a Marine. I think he was Navy.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to start any fisticuffs.
But we appreciate your service, Steve, wherever it was.
Yes. He shared a video on his Facebook page yesterday of a tribute to the U.S. Marine Corps that was taking place in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
How about that?
So, yeah.
That's neat.
Thank you. Oh, Army.
Oh, well, we missed
Army.
it all together.
Army.
Well, those guys had to ride a boat once in a while, too.
That's right. That's how we got them to where they needed to go.
Sorry, Steve. We really smacked it around there bad.
You know, for whatever reason, I was thinking Army, and then I thought to myself, no, maybe it's Navy. And so I went with Navy. Yeah. So I apologize. We could have said Coast Guard. We could have said Merchant Marines. We'd
have been wrong all the way around.
Yeah, precisely. All right. Let's get right to this date in history.
Yeah, 1989. East German officials opened the Berlin Wall, allowing travel from east to west Berlin. The following day, celebrating Germans began to tear down that wall. Remember President Reagan telling Mikhail Gorbachev years before to do this. Ronald Reagan was no longer president when this happened. George Bush was in 1989.
But it started with Reagan. Of course, Kennedy also talked about this too, didn't he, during his administration?
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Yeah.
I am a Berliner. But only the way he said it, it actually translated, I am a donut or something like that. So, but yeah. Anyway. Oh, David Hasselhoff stole the show. Remember the concert that he did from the Berlin Wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, they hadn't even torn it all down. I think he was actually dancing around on top of the wall during his performance.
Whoever would have thought that David Hasselhoff would be bigger than the Beatles in Germany?
Yeah, amazing. That just shows how sheltered those East Germans were all those years. Baywatch, wow. Yeah, really.
I think we've talked about this before in the program, but during a previous radio moment, Ameriflora, 1992, Franklin Park Conservatory. In that park, there was part of the wall that was there. And there's also part of that wall at at the National Museum. Yeah. And so it's crazy because when I have seen it in both instances, I think to myself, this was in another country, and we had seen it on TV that night with these guys with sledgehammers in their hand, just banging away at that concrete. And one side was colorful, the other was just dank as could be, because on the east side you couldn't do anything, and on the west side it was euphoria.
Now, I have part of the Berlin Wall in my house.
I don't think I knew that.
Daughter Sarah went on a trip when she was in college to Berlin, among other European cities, and they were selling pieces of the wall. I mean, it's like that big. It's enclosed in this some type of a glass container.
With
plastic.
a certificate of authenticity?
Well, I don't know that came with it, but they say it's...
which means it could have been rubble from anything.
But there was a lot of wall. They could probably sell little chunks like that for years to come. So
yeah, the Great Wall of China.
Which shows just how quickly they converted over to capitalism from the East German side. So
well, they got to survive somehow.
Yeah. So there you go. 1989 on this date.
What a date in history.
Yes, sir.
And you were there. Is that what Walter Cronkite used to say?
He did have a kids show on Saturday morning that dealt with history, and I think it's what it was called. You Were There or something like that or something.
Yeah. Which was always neat because they portrayed what happened, and there was the anchor of our lives, Walter Cronkite.
I was just waiting the times that he talked about the revolution. He put a white wig on. He never did that, no.
And he did say, and that's the way it was.
That was his regular show, yeah.
And you were, okay.
Yeah. And that's the way it is, yeah.
So that's the program for today on The Daily Show. We're going to talk football coming up here exclusively in just a few short moments, and that includes our Athlete of the Week. So if you know somebody that you would like to nominate as our Athlete of the Week, please feel free to do so. And, of course, thank you to Neil Coleman Insurance Agency and Wyandotte Mutual for making that a thing. And it's going to be a big thing at the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
Because we'll have a Player of the Year.
Right.
So that's all just ahead. All right. Coming up at noon today, the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll see you in a bit.